Alright guys, so as I mentioned in a few other Airsoft videos, I'm pretty new to this. And I went off the advice of a couple, or at least one YouTube reviewer about their mask setup. The person was using glasses and one of these very typical mesh and cloth things. But I'm thinking for close quarters combat, or probably anything, it might not be the best idea. So let me tell you why. First, I'll get this out of the way. This is just a bicycle helmet I had laying around. I bought it so I could ride my electric scooter, my Xiaomi scooter. But, a bunch of morons were riding them on the sidewalks, so now they're illegal, and so there's no reason for me to have this thing anymore. So if you're going to paint a helmet, you can't use rattle can paint because the solvent in that rattle can will dissolve the foam. The only way I painted this is I used an airbrush, and this is Vallejo paint. Vallejo is water-based acrylic. So water and acrylic will not eat the foam of a polystyrene expanded foam. But a rattle can, test it on a piece of packaging foam. You'll see it dissolves foam. So that's a mental note. Never use rattle can or a solvent-based paint on a motorcycle helmet, bicycle helmet, anything with expanded polystyrene in it. All right. But if you do pursue something like this one folds. So it's kind of nice for portability. I bought this off AliExpress or eBay, I forget where. It was like 30 bucks. So it does have like a CE approval, but you can see how compact it is for storing. But you can also see it's taken a bunch of hits already, BB hits, dent there, dents all over the place. And I think it's even cracked in one location. Yeah, right here. It's actually penetrated the outer plastic shell. The shell is yellow. You can see a little bit of yellow shining through. But again, this is just a sacrificial piece of garbage now since my electric scooter is illegal. So just something to keep in mind. All right, now let's get into this mask. The very first time I played, I just had this camo mask, but I got shot right in the cheek. So this mask, if you look at the inside, it doesn't cover most of your face because it has this curvature going up. So your cheek is hanging down here, and that's exactly where I got shot. So I've since, hand stitched some leather, and that's not a problem anymore. So this mask works fine. The problem is now the glasses. These are just some safety glasses. Obviously fogging up. I didn't put a fog wipe on it yet. But you can see the fit of it on my face is quite close. But the other day the second time I was playing, a BB actually got inside this tiny crack. It didn't come close to my eye, but still it's a little disturbing to see a BB rolling around here inside your optical view. So I'm gonna switch over to a mask. Now the reason why I believe, I went with this person's advice is because you can get your cheek right on the buttstock of your rifle. And so you can look down your optics better, right? But I would rather not be able to look into an optic and not get shot in the face. So another reason is the last time I was playing, I had the mask, I had the bike helmet, but there was a tiny gap, actually, and I still managed to get hit. Let me put this back on. So hold on here. I wear an extra large helmet, motorcycle helmet, so this is like pushing the maximum of the straps, by the way. But here, if we put this bike helmet on, you would think you'd be fairly safe here. But no, this tiny bit of skin here, you can see I got hit, and it's a pretty disturbing welt to look at. When you show up to work with something like that, the pain isn't really an issue for me because I used to play paintball. Paintball hurts a lot more than airsoft. Airsoft is more like a sting. Paintball actually hurts. But going to work with a bunch of bloodiness all over your face, not a good thing. Just doesn't look good. So that's the main reason now why I'm switching over to a dye paintball mask. Okay, I decided to relocate because this is a pretty dark box, and on that bathroom black countertop it'd be impossible to see. But here we are, brand new Dye i5, seeing good reviews on this. I have some friends that have this as well, playing Airsoft, and they told me the thermal lens never fogs up on them, so that sold me on the idea, as well as the quick release strap system. So let's get this guy open. Oops. Alright, so there's actually a clear piece of plastic there. That's not open air. Tells you what it is, of course. And this time we have the part number. I'm gonna guess this associates with the color code, or maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. It's strange. But anyways, I went with the camouflage version, as you can hopefully see through here. And then we got some marketing stuff here. This Pro Strap is what really sold me on this as well. Compression formed ear protection. That'll be interesting. Soft touch multi-layer foam. Let's see if that's true. Alright. Naturally it's a nice box being such an expensive product. Inside we have a travel bag, so that's nice. Got a little rope cinch, but not a quick release, tightening lock. So that's kind of cheap in my opinion. For a mask this expensive, you would think that'd be one of those plastic tension devices. Oh well. Random foam and random plastic to protect it from shipping. And nothing else. Okay. So we got a warranty card. I have no idea how long the warranty is. It says 1 year. So that's, I guess, acceptable. Then we have some of this tied on. Just cut this off. I'm gonna guess this is some sort of extra buckle of some sort, maybe for the strap. I don't know for sure. Maybe it'll become obvious when we look at the mask. But there's a thread and oh, maybe it's for a camera mount. Alright. An owner's manual. Let's see if this stuff makes sense. Many languages. So the top row is what I'm interested in. Tension of the strap. We're unlocking the strap from the mask. Okay, I think I got that down. Chin strap. POV camera mount system. I don't see that plastic piece though yet. Hopefully, well, I'll refer back to it if I have to. And a sticker for your toolbox. Okay, so let's see. Oh, another piece here. So warning. Important safety instructions and guidelines. The locked position versus the wrong locked position. Alright, so this is about the goggle strap being locked in. Let's see if it has to do with this blue piece here. Correct lock position. Alright, so there's a hook on that blue piece of plastic, and it has to be invisible. So, which it is, which makes sense. This is factory assembled, so. Alright, let's see if we can make sense of removing this goggle strap. It's a little tight, so I guess we'll have to start with this. First, loosening this counterclockwise. It's a pretty fast mechanism. As you can see, there's that much strap. So that's, I guess, fully open. And now 1, 2, 3. Less than 3/4 turns or 3/2 turns, the whole thing is tight again. So that's pretty fast. I like that. You don't have to sit there and wind this thing a whole bunch. This thing has a nice, it's a foam. It's like some sort of molded foam. And then, yeah, molded foam. And then there's a separate high density foam here, it seems. It's a different type of foam than this foam. This is the cloth foam. This is just regular rubbery foam. Alright. There's some triangular screws holding this together. Security bits or something. It's got a nice texturing here on the dial. Even though there's not much purchase for your fingertips, you can still grab it. Although I think it would be even nicer if it actually stuck out more than it does. I mean, it's almost flush here in the middle. It's only about 5 millimeters of finger grab. I think it'd be even better, because if you have gloves on, which coincidentally I have, these are fake mechanics fireproof gloves. They had a patch here saying Carbon X. I took a lighter to them and they burnt immediately. So these are fake. I bought these off AliExpress. So I would suggest you never buy anything that says Carbon X from AliExpress because it's fake. Well, what do you know? Even with gloves, I can actuate this. Although I still wish it was bigger, like sticking out more. Oh well. Okay, I read the instructions. It's pretty simple. These gray tabs here, this little thing with the 2 ridges, have to be pushed forward. This is what's locking the blue piece in place. So this one's pushed forward right now, and then the bottom one is might be hard to see, but I'm pushing it forward. And so now I should be able to undo this. So there's this tiny blue hook, and that hook is what's trapping the lens right here into the frame. So you can see that can start to slide out. So let me do the same here on this side. I'll push this gray tab forward, push it down and forward. Same with the bottom one. I'm going to push it down and forward. Ah, boy, yeah. And then this hook comes loose, and now the thermal lens will come out. All right. Yeah, there's a little inside plastic layer here, which I shall remove. So, optical clarity, it's naturally quite clear, being a brand new lens. So, no concerns that I can see. Okay. Nice. What is this? Oh, just some random hair. All right. So we might as well leave the lens off. It'll give us a better view inside. So on the top brow area, we have a whole lot of venting, obviously. So that should be thin enough to keep a BB out. Here's a little 6mm BB, right? So even if you're looking down at the ground, I don't think a BB would get through that very easily. But you never know. At point blank range, maybe it could get through there. All right, there's an embedded logo here. It's some sort of, feels like rubber or something. It's soft, but it's clear on top of a green and silver dye printing thing. So it's like a 3-dimensional logo, but it's recessed. So that's nice. The actual camouflage here, I don't know how they do this. I'm going to guess it's hydrographics or something. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a matte finish. It's not glossy. This green down here is a little bit glossier. I would call that maybe a satin finish, whereas the camo is very matte, very low reflectivity. Okay, so dual density foam, huh? I don't know about that, at least on this upper brow thing. Feels like one piece of foam with just a tiny strip of some other foam. So technically maybe that is dual density, but this little gray lining strip is so thin that you wouldn't feel the difference. I'm gonna guess it's for traction. Could be wrong. All right. So there's a cover for the chin strap lock, and it's got a Velcro or a hook and loop system there. Let's take that off and take a look at this thing. All right, it's a simple, clasp mechanism, very similar to like a cat collar. So it's actually a really thin strap. I think it would have been cool if it had a magnetic strap. Like even my cheap $30 bicycle helmet. I mean, this thing has a magnetic strap that's so easy, right? It just slides on. And even this one has a built-in LED light back here, and it's a, almost like a BOA system, or it's just a rotary lock, right? So this thing is 30 bucks. Look up the price of one of these. So I feel like dye, you're way behind other industries. You should be able to have a magnetic strap at this price point. Okay. All right, well, this rubber here, you can see, is quite flexible. The frame of the goggles is far more rigid. It's definitely a different material. So I think this is maybe co-molded or something. You know, this is a harder material than them molding in this greens in a separate process or something. I'm not sure how it's really made, to be honest with you. Okay, so I've never heard any of my friends complain about BBs getting through these holes. So I don't think it's going to be a concern. This back area here again is the same like fabric foam as back here, but there's some sort of molded on rubber, you know, that's the same as here. So that's some extra rigidity and some ear ventilation so you can hear better. All right. And then this cheek pad here, you can see a little cheek pad. Seems to be a separate piece from here, like it's glued in place. So that's interesting. And then also the chin strap I'm noticing here can come off, I think. There's a little plastic piece and there's a pin that I think if I push this forward, yeah, it can, now I gotta push it outwards. Obviously it's hard to do with a camera, but okay. So it can come off if you really want to clean this, you know, if it gets really grimy after a season or something like that. So that's nice that you can clean this separately if you really wanted to. So let me pop that back in. This part is trapped between the tab and the mask. So I have to get it in here, pop that into the larger hole, and then pull it downwards. Boy, that's not so easy to do. It's because this thing is actually bent. You can see how it's bent. So it makes it a little tough. Okay, there, I just pulled it back into the lock's position. All right, well, oh, another nice thing I'm seeing is the silicone lining. Not really linings, they're literally 3 silicone grip strips here. So this should stay pretty good on your forehead or your temple area. It shouldn't slide down with those 3 grips. Something I'm familiar with, like with bicycle clothing. All right, let's put this lens back in and see how easy it is to do. Venting on the bottom. These are not vents right here though. So just 2 vents here on the lower side. Goes upwards and then the whole top area is vented. Slide that into this slot here. This side as well. Oh, that's quite easy actually. No fidgeting there. Now I'm gonna pop this little hook back into this recess of the lens. It's because this gray tab moved backwards. I gotta push it down and forward. That lower one is a hard one. Now the top one moved in the wrong position. So this is definitely not as easy as one would hope it would be, but I guess you're not going to change lenses every day. Or maybe you would, I don't know. Okay, so it's pushed up flush against here, so I think that hook is hooking the lens. Alright, so I gotta do the same on this side. I gotta push these gray tabs in and forward. Okay, there we go. So snap, pull it back, and now that hook is engaging the lens. So it's sitting flush with the outer side. Let me put this thing on and let's take a look in the mirror. I'm actually looking into a mirror So that's why my eyes are over there right now, because I'm looking at myself in the mirror, just to let you know. That's what I did earlier as well. So it fit on perfectly easily enough. This chin strap, I'm going to try to do it without looking in the mirror. Alright, it's doable without the mirror, obviously. Let me try it again. Let me try it with gloves on. Okay, I got my cheap fake mechanics gloves on. Let me try to undo this thing without looking. And now let me try to put this strap on with the gloves. See, that's the problem with the small buckle. You don't know if you're really holding in the right place or not. Well, you know, I did get it. So I think I was too close to the camera there. Let me try this again. So I guess it is doable even with gloves on. So that's nice. But ideally, you know, if it's magnetic, this would be a lot easier. I'm going to guess actually a lot of people don't even bother with the chin strap, because that silicone striping here, it's pretty good. Especially if I tighten this down, it's not moving, right? So, alright, so another concern I had was, you know, is my face exposed down here? I would say no, right? So again, if I wear an extra large motorcycle helmet, the i5 is a pretty big mask. But naturally my neck is quite exposed. So I went and bought this before I even got the mask in the mail. It's just, you know, this foam that's used to line the drawers to keep things from making noise. It's from one of these $2 stores, a Japanese $2 shop. It's called Daiso. But I'm pretty sure you can get this pretty much at any department store. So what I'm curious is whether or not this foam is actually durable. So let me undo this. I'm going to try to rip it with my own hands. I do feel before that though, the BB would not penetrate this. So here's a BB. Here's the hole. The BB is much larger than the holes. So even at point blank range, I question if it, I don't think it could go through. But it really depends on how strong this is. So let me try to tear this. That's really strong. So what's going on with this foam? You can hear that snapping. This is like a net. I think it's made of like nylon. It's a nylon net, and then they dip it in foam. So it's almost like a fishing net. That's what it feels like. Or it sounds like. It sounds like fishing line snapping. So I'm quite positive there's no way a BB is going to penetrate this, because I don't think it would break a fishing net.
it's not your birthday for a couple weeks, but this week has been really tough, and you're kind of mad at me, so I think you deserve this. Surprise! Early present! Is that a sigh? That's the bunny thing you're obsessed with.
Yeah, it's just, this thing is for like little kids now. It came out like a year ago.
Okay, I know it's stupid, but come on. Let's try it. Okay. Just remember it's refurbished, so it might not work perfectly. Okay? Whoa. Hi. Are you my best buddy? I guess.
That's great.
What's your name? Amy. So. Amy, so. Sorry. What's my name?
How so?
Did you say Chucky?
What? No, we're not even close.
Chucky. I like that. Chucky.
Mhm.
I'm Chucky. What do you want to do? Give me something.
Andy, it's just, Andy. I don't know. Do something cool. I just turn on the TV.
I will do that. What's a TV?
Are you joking? Nothing.
I cannot process that command.
Oh, wait, you
Gotta sync his knowledge base to the cloud before he can connect to any other thousand files.
Okay, Chucky, connect to the cloud. Download. Learn stuff. It's kind of creepy.
This thing is stupid. I didn't know it was that messed up. I'll take it back. It's fine.
No, honestly, I like it.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's great. It's hilarious. I like it.
Me too.
It's actually pretty cool.
Go to bed and stuff.
Come on. This is my room. And that's Mickey Rooney. He's a total dick, so just don't touch him.
Total dick.
Whoa. You're allowed to say that? Cool. This is my desk. This is my sketchbook. I do fake like cartoons sometimes. Like Dracula and Robin Hood. This one's so Medusa. Kind of a deep cut. I don't know, it's stupid.
I do not think it's stupid.
Thanks. Any compliments from a talking dog. It's my life. Alright, that's enough for tonight.
Do you want to sing the buddy song before bed?
No, I'm good.
You are my buddy until the end. More than a buddy, you're my best friend.
Right. Totally not weird at all.
Are we having fun now?
Sure,
Yay!
yes. Okay.
Is it time to play again? Are we having fun now?
No, we're having sleep. Just please close your eyes and pretend to be less creepy.
You're my best friend, Andy. so weird.
Why tell?
You are my body until the end. More than a body. You will never know.
Please.
To go.
Alright, so I, didn't hand stitched it. Pretty rough, but I don't care. You know, as long as my neck is protected, I should be good. I don't know if this would make sense on the top part. I don't know if it would, it might, I don't think it'll stand up, Anyways, let's put it on my neck and see where I have to trim it off. Alright, so naturally it looks a little bit goofy with all this extra material. I do also think the neck is too long. You can see it bunching up there. Maybe right there, where that's going to get trimmed. This is just like sewing chalk. I guess you could use a marker just as well. And then maybe trim this off. Better trim a little bit off at a time. Let me come back after I cut this stuff off. Alright, well, although it is possible to thread this stuff on, I ended up just using really small zip ties, right? So it's a little bit cleaner looking than stitching through this stuff. But I did stitch through here and I removed the thread and it just seems to vanish because this is cloth. But on the back here, it is stitched. So this is to protect me from, backfire. Because I play CQB, even though I have my hand up, I'm waving out. People are still shooting at me as I'm leaving to respawn and all that stuff. So, yeah, we'll see how this works. I think for now I'm just going to leave it this long. Totally protect my neck. And we'll see if this works. If it's too thin, another idea is I could actually put 2 layers of this foam. And then it'll be very, very cushiony. But I feel it might make it hotter. So that's why I'm going to just leave it with 1 layer for now. So if everything works out well, there won't be any update videos. But if I need to make improvements, I'll do another video. So thanks for watching today. I gotta work on a hat. Alright, see you guys. Alright guys, you can see I ended up zip tying, 4 in the front, 2 on each side. There's a big gap here, and then 2 here on each side. But I think it's fine. So, and then I trimmed off the extra. This was a really long piece before, and then I just used a marker. You can see some silver marker here actually left over. And so I can always trim more later. It's easy enough to do. I also decided to use some thread and put a little back thing here because I find that in CQB, as I'm leaving the field going to respawn, people are still shooting me in the back of the head. It's very annoying. So, in fact, if you look at the back of this helmet, a BB literally cracked the back of the helmet. So, which brings up the point, can this mask be used with this helmet? I don't think so. Not at all. So if I push this helmet down, my eyes are gone. So I can't see anything right now. So move this back up. So unfortunately my disposable helmet is going to, I don't know, just sit around until I find some other purpose for it. So now I gotta figure out how to protect my head. I really wish this thing had a brow like those JT ones. But I'll have to get a thick hat or something for now. It's just that I live in the tropics. If I put a winter hat on, I'm gonna boil to death. So, who knows? Well, anyways, it'll probably be if I find a good solution, I'll do a different video. But if you don't see another video, that pretty much means that this thing works pretty well, and the whole goggle system I'm pretty confident already works well. So hopefully you learned something, maybe some tips on doing something like this. They're very thin zip ties, by the way, to get through these vents here. Okay, well thanks. I'll see you guys. Bye.